Hey guys, in this one we're going to add and subtract radical expressions. Alright, here we go. Okay guys, so for these, the two skills you want to be comfortable with here are simplifying radicals as well as combining like terms. So if you can do those two things, then these shouldn't be too bad. So here we have a radical expression that involves addition, okay? So how you want to think about these is just like you would with combining like terms, right? If I asked you what 2x plus 5x was, you would tell me that's 7x, right? Because they have the x in common, we can just go ahead and add the coefficients together and we get 7x. So this property applies to these radicals, except now instead of having variables, we just have a radical. So the problem is these radicals don't match. This root 150 does not match the root 6, and so we can't combine, we can't add these coefficients together yet. So the goal is going to be to get these radicals to match, and how do we do that? Well, we simplify the radical. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify the square root of 150 here, and the largest perfect square that goes into 150 is 25. So I can factor root 50 into root 25 times root 6, because 25 times 6 gives me 150, and root 25 is of course just 5, and root 6 is as simplified as that's going to get. And so I can go ahead and multiply these two factors here, and that's what root 150 would equal. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to substitute, I'm going to rewrite this expression, except I'm going to replace the root 150 with 5 root 6. So I'm going to keep my 3 out front, and now instead of saying times root 150, I'm going to say times 5 times root 6. And then I'll write the rest of the expression. Okay. And then I can simplify a little bit more. I can just do the 3 times 5 here. So that'll give me 15 root 6 plus 3 root 6. And now, as you can see, we have quote unquote like terms. I have the radicals match here. So if I have 15 root 6's and I'm adding 3 root 6's to that 15 root 6, well then I end up with 18 root 6. Okay? And so now these do get a bit more complicated, and this here is an example of that. So again, these radicals don't match up, so these are not considered like terms, and so I need to get them to match. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify root 45, and the largest perfect square that goes into 45 is 9, and 9 times 5 is 45. And then the square root of 9 is just 3. And the square root of 5 is as simplified as that gets. So I'm going to go ahead and replace root 45 with 3 times root 5. So I have my negative 10 times 3 times root 5. Now, as you can see, root 5 and root 20 still don't match. So in this case, I'm actually going to have to simplify root 20 as well. So 4 is the largest perfect square that goes into 20. And the square root of 4 is just 2. So I can substitute 2 root 5 in for my root 20 here. So I'm going to add 5. And then I'm going to replace the root 20 with 2 root 5. Okay, and now I can simplify, I can do some multiplication out front. Negative 10 times 3 is negative 30. And 5 times 2 is just 10. And now I have my matching radicals, so I can think of these as like terms. So negative 30 root 5 plus 10 root 5 is going to be negative 20 root 5. All right, and we'll do one more of these. So just like the last one, I'm going to go ahead and simplify my radicals and see if I can get them to match. So I will first simplify root 160, and 16 happens to be the largest perfect square. That goes into 160, and 16 times 10 gives me 160. Root 16 simplifies to just 4. And then root 10 I can technically factor into root 5 times root 2, but I'm just going to end up multiplying them together to give me my root 10 back anyway. So it's just going to be 4 root 10 here. So I will substitute root 160 with 4 root 10. And now root 10 does not match root 90, so I'm going to have to simplify root 90 as well. And 9 happens to be the largest perfect square. And 9 times 10 gives me 90. Root 9 simplifies to 3. And again, I could factor root 10 into root 5 and root 2, but it's just going to end up turning into root 10 again anyway. So I have 3 root 10. So I have my minus 4 times 3 root 10. And now I can do my multiplication out front. So 28 root 10 minus 12 root 10. All right, and now I have my like terms, my matching radicals, and this is going to equal 16 root 10. All right, and with that said, guys, it's been demonstrated.